Who took part in last night's debate so far, and in the past few minutes we've had this from Natalie Bennett of the Green Party.
The debate last night.
Well, first of all, I had a lot of people beforehand telling me that I should really enjoy it. I wasn't sure I could manage it, but actually I did really enjoy it. And I was very pleased to be there and to be able to raise issues that simply wouldn't have been heard otherwise. Astonishingly, climate change that I don't think anyone else even mentioned, but also things like biodiversity loss, human rights, Syrian refugees, a whole range of issues that had the Greens, had I not been there, simply wouldn't have been raised.
Some people have seen this as a victory for the minor parties, not just the Greens but the others. Do you think that's the case?
Well, I think this really marked a further step in multi-party politics in Britain. And I do think there is a distinct gender aspect to this. It was really great to see when you counted Julie, who did a great job as moderator, that was a gender balanced platform for women and for men debating politics. And that's something we haven't seen much in British politics before. And I hope there'll be a lot of 16, 18, 45-year-old women out there going, I might be there next time.
However, though, it still was the main parties that dominated, the main economic arguments that they've been discussing and arguing over for the course of the Parliament. The minor parties, do you think they'll have an impact on the next election? And has this debate made any difference in helping you, the Green Party, break through the major party system?
I think this debate is certainly going to be a big step forward for the Green Party. I mean, just one measure, in an immediate measure, I gained some 6,000 new Twitter followers in, I don't know, the hour or so after the debate. But I think, in terms of the economic debates, we were limited by the structure last night. The format was, and I don't think perhaps the public understood this very clearly, but it was proportional time. So we didn't get equal time. It wasn't that we weren't bursting to come in on the economic issues. We understood we weren't going to get equal time to Tory and Labour. And so we had to live within the limits of that. We'll have lots of other vehicles, social media, to get our message across that rich individuals and multinational companies have to pay their fair way, have to pay their taxes, and we have to stop making the poor and disadvantaged pay for the greed and fraud of the bankers.
Okay. Yeah, sure. And in terms of impacts that this debate will have on voting intention at the next election, there are polls out today that place you in the bottom two in terms of performance. Are you disappointed at that?
Well, I think we'll have to wait to see how the dust settles, but I'm getting some very positive feedback on Twitter. One tweet I saw this morning, someone saying that their previously comfortably Tory wife had been converted to being Green, which I thought was quite nice. I think a lot of people will take time to digest this, and the impact of the polls, we've got a whole election campaign before us, so we'll see how that comes out.
And no one can accuse you of having a brain fade this time. Do you think you'll be able to move on from that media interview, and how do you think last night?
I'm not sure certain aspects of the media will let me move on from that entirely for a very long time. But if you look at the fact that I've done Any Questions, Question Time, and now the Leader Debates since then, it was one day, one moment. I think it is time to move on.
Natalie Bennett speaking just a short time ago. So let's talk about how she